Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel and welcome to another race week. It is the Hungarian Grand Prix this weekend, which is one of my favourite F1 tracks. I think obviously besides Silverstone, which might be a little bit biased for me, I do love the Hungarian. I'm very excited for this. The Hungarian Grand Prix was actually the first Grand Prix I watched a couple of years ago. It was Oscar Piastri's first win. So yeah, then I became a McLaren fan for whatever reason, even though that wasn't like a great race call from them. And then obviously Lando won here last year, so it has been a great track for the McLarens the past 2 years. But obviously that doesn't mean it's going to continue this year because they are not as strong as they have been the past 2 years. But let's get into my predictions for the race weekend. It is a normal race weekend, so we'll go straight into who I think will get pole, and I think that will be Kimi Antonelli. Like I keep saying in all my prediction videos, it's stupid to bet against him, especially when it comes to qualifying at this point. Like obviously he's had a few mechanical issues in the races. Obviously he won the Belgian Grand Prix last weekend, but before that he's had a few mechanical issues and a few DNFs or being out of the points. But I always bet on Kimi for pole just because he's super fast round one lap. He obviously has the fastest car and he knows how to get the pace out of that car. So yes, I would definitely bet on Kimi. Although I would say, obviously we don't know how the McLaren car is going to perform around here, but Lando got the new engine last race weekend and he did seem to be a lot faster than a lot of people were expecting in qualifying. Obviously it didn't matter at the end because he ended up messing up his last lap and he had a 10 place grid penalty anyway. But it will be interesting to see whether Lando will be able to have good form in quali this race weekend as well, or if it was a track dependent thing. I don't know, but if this engine works for him and he starts to feel good with the car again, I can see him maybe not challenging Kimi for pole, but potentially qualifying P2. But let's get into my predictions for the podium. So I said that Kimi will convert his pole into a win. Again, at this point, I think it's just stupid to bet against Kimi. I know we've had 4 race winners at this point, but most of the time when Kimi hasn't won a race, it's been his car's fault. He's had a few issues instead of his driving ability. So I think hopefully they're getting on top of the reliability issues now. Hopefully all of the teams are. So I think we're going to see less reliability issues as we get further into the season, and Kimi is just holding up a great form. So yeah, I think it would be stupid to bet against him. Especially because it was this time last season where his form started to dip a bit, and we haven't seen that this year. Obviously he had got unfortunate with reliability, but driving wise he's stayed as strong as he's been all season, so there's no reason to bet against him for the win this weekend. And then I've put Lewis Hamilton for P2 just because I think he has not performed as well as Charles the last 2 races, but I think Lewis is still very in tune with that car. He didn't seem to have a great, because they didn't get the wing adjust done during the pit stop last race weekend. I think he didn't have a great feeling within the car for the second half of the Belgian Grand Prix, but I think most of the time he's in tune with the car, and when he puts it together it goes really well. I haven't put George in P2 or on the podium at all, just because he's on a bit of a bad run of form, and whenever I seem to predict him to like bounce back, he never does. So it's likely that he won't be on the podium for whatever reason, or if he is, at least I'm not jinxing him. And I would love to see him back on the podium, but he's just had such an inconsistent streak that it's hard to predict him on the podium at this point. But for P3 I've gone for Lando Norris, just because, as I was saying, we saw some great pace from him last race weekend with the new engine in his car, and obviously he doesn't have a 10 place grid penalty this time, so hopefully he'll be able to do well in quali, and then that will help him with the race. And I think he could definitely get a podium if he does well in quali, and if the McLaren team don't mess up his strategy and his pit stop again, because I think he was let down a bit on the team side last race weekend. But yeah, I can definitely see Lando being up there this race weekend. It will be interesting to see. Obviously, this is a track where it's kind of a bit of a split strategy. I know that Lando won it last year because everybody basically went for a 2-stop strategy, and Lando ended up making a 1-stop strategy work, which got him the win, and when he was looking nowhere near the win at the start of the race. So I think it will depend on strategies and pit stops, as well as how driving styles and how people are feeling in their cars. But I think Lando might be able to do something this weekend, so it'll be interesting to see either way. But let's get into my surprise predictions. I said once again that Nico Hülkenberg will get his first point of the season. This is the last time I'll predict this. If he doesn't get it this race, I will stop predicting it after the summer break, because I don't want to, in case I'm jinxing him, I don't want to be doing that anymore. But I just really want him to get it. He's been driving good. It's just, obviously it's very hard to get points because reliability issues, but also we have a very clear top 4 teams. So if all of the drivers from the top 4 teams finish the race, they're probably gonna block out P1 to P8. Then you only have 2 points position left for midfield, and that's usually taken up by Racing Bulls. So it is hard to get points for sure, but I just hope that Nico will be able to do it at some point. My next surprise prediction is that Lando will qualify in the top 2, which I touched on earlier. He was rapid in all of the practice sessions and quali last race weekend, and we'll see what he can do, but if he's feeling good with this car and this engine, I definitely think we can see some special things from Lando. And I'm pretty sure that McLaren are bringing more upgrades soon, so I think we might be able to start seeing Lando come back, not into this championship fight because I think he's a bit too far out, but I think we can see him back on the podium at least, because he does seem to be able to outperform his car pretty often compared to Oscar. I said Isaac finishes in a higher race position than Max. I don't really have any evidence backing this. Even if Isaac seems faster over the practice sessions, even if he seems faster over quali, Max always seems to end up ahead in the race. But I just think we could have one race weekend where Isaac does manage to get ahead of Max, stay ahead of Max, maybe not pass him on the track, but if Isaac out-qualifies Max, he might be able to stay ahead. Obviously, again, with the strategy differences, we could see the teammates that we don't expect to be in front this weekend. And I think Isaac has been driving very well lately, so it'll be interesting to see. I said there could potentially be contact between the 2 Racing Bulls. A lot of people was picked up against their tension on track. I can't tell if their media PR team is doing a really good job, or if they're able to separate what happens on track and what happens off track, because they seem fine together off track, but then also I know a lot of things are fake in F1 to make everyone seem like they're friendly with each other, but yeah, definitely on track there's a lot of tension there, a lot of wanting to be faster than each other because their teammates are their main competition right now, because they are very strongly best of the rest at the moment. They're not fast enough to catch up with the top 4 teams, but they're not slow enough to kind of be with any of the rest of the midfield. So it is kind of the same with the Aston Martins. They're kind of just on their own going around the track, so it means they fight each other more often, but both of them are quite aggressive with their moves, so I think maybe we might see contact at some point this season between them if they don't manage to sort it out, or maybe we might need some team orders. I don't like team orders but when you're teammates it does, and you're fighting that aggressively for no reason, you don't really want to risk points. So it will be interesting to see what Racing Bulls do, but they obviously haven't given any team orders yet, as in don't fight each other. And there has been some crazy moves from both Liam and Arvid, so I reckon we could see contact. And then this, I've put it down as a surprise prediction. It's sad that I have to put it down as a surprise prediction. It's not like a crazy prediction or anything, but I said both Mercedes finished the race in the points, which seems crazy that I have to put that down as a surprise prediction. But if we think about it, obviously George didn't finish the last race because of contact with Hamilton. And then the 2 races before that, Kimi had reliability issues, which caused him to either DNF or finish outside of the points. We've had so many races where one of them has finished outside of the points or DNF'd because of reliability issues or contact. So yeah, I think they are actually not on a great streak with both cars finishing in the points, let alone both cars finishing like on the podium. Like at the start of the year we were like, oh, it's constantly going to be a Mercedes 1-2, and we've barely seen any Mercedes 1-2. So them both finishing in the points is a bit of a crazy prediction. Like it's very possible, but we actually don't see it as often as you think we would. But I'm very excited for this race weekend. I love this track and I think it will provide a banger, hopefully, with the different strategy calls, and we'll see. Obviously, you never know with these new regulations. We kind of have to get through this season to kind of see what tracks work with these cars and what tracks don't. But I'm hoping it will be a good race. Obviously, the last race before the summer break, which is a bit sad, but nearly halfway through the season, which is crazy. But yes, please like and subscribe if you want to see my review after the race and just any other F1 related videos, or if you guys are readers by any chance, I also do some book related videos, so please stick around if you want to see anything more from me. Thank you for being here and I'll see you around.